So AH is already wrecking their appeal in their earliest groundworks. Why? Because they are hyper-focusing on the UK case. That is not going to be a winner. Not only that, but they are taking apart that talking point that they had, telling the mainstream media, telling the public, if you could only see what happened in the UK case, well, you would be shocked. Yeah, their initial argument relies on a slideshow that they put together. This is all about the UK case, not the US case. They're saying, oh, if we could have only presented all of this stuff. And remember, all of this, it was presented behind closed doors. We never got to see it then. Well, the judge in the U.S. said you're going to have to show it to the world. You and I, we're going to get to go over this. This is, again, the initial wreckage of a lost appeal. This thing, it is not going to work out at all. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And this initial salvo, it's the anatomy of a losing appeal. You mark my words on that, too. They're going to lose with this argument. Why? Because they've already lost with it before. This is a 58-page slideshow that they're opening with. And I hope people pay attention to this argument, too, because it shows people just how many tools that they actually had in their possession. For example, when you get to the 5th page of this slideshow, you notice this statement here: 70,000 text messages. Essentially, AH's team had every text message JD had sent for 10 years. Most people don't understand that. They think he just turned over a few here and a few there. No, his team accidentally turned over every single text message he had sent for 10 years. You know what they had to do with that? They had to come up with this idea that monster, that was code for what was happening behind the scenes. Why? Because they didn't have anything else to argue. I mean, that's amazing when you think about it. When you go through to, again, they give you procedural chronology, they give you burdens of proof, saying in the UK, the burden of proof was on the defendant to prove statements were true. Yeah, not so much at all. For example, when you start going through incidents, these are the incidents, by the way, they did not detail in the U.S. case. You can see them. I'm not lingering on all of this, but there were 14 incidents all told that they throw out. What's astounding about these is that she was allowed to make accusations. These accusations, by the way, they were treated like 100% fact. I mean, to give you an idea of what it took to get one kicked out, here's a statement JD made from December 17th, 2014, talking about one of the 2 accusations that were thrown out. He said, quote, "I understand from my solicitor that the defendant also alleged that I had been violent toward AH on December 17th, 2014, and that afterwards I sent a text message supposedly apologizing for my behavior and calling myself an effing savage and a lunatic. The defendant's pleading does not contain specific details of the violence alleged to have occurred on December 17th, 2014, and as such, I cannot provide any detail as what happened on that date." So she put a text message into record. She said because he apologized for something, that proved that an incident occurred. The judge said there wasn't enough evidence to uphold that. Basically, if she would have alleged more, he would have upheld it, but he couldn't because there was no accusation. I mean, that tells you how high that bar was, right? Now, what's fascinating is they left that incident out of their slideshow, by the way. In fact, when you're looking at this, and I realize that it's scrolling by because we're not going to focus on anything here, but when you look at all these incidents, they're very familiar. Why is that? Because you saw them all presented in the U.S. case. The only difference between the U.S. and the U.K. case is the media. They presented things to you in that one. AH had to present it to you when she was on the stand in this one. That's what lost it for most people because they saw her for exactly what she was. Now, the other argument that they love to bring up, and I hope people truly focus, even hyper-focus on, is the idea that JD, he repeatedly argued that the Sun's published statements, those were career-ending. So, even though she put together a hoax crime, even though we got to see all of this stuff play out in real time, the Sun, they were the ones that ended his career. Therefore, when they won there, he shouldn't have been able to take AH on head-to-head and talk about what she did. In fact, they say each time that JD loses, he's just going to keep litigating cases. You need to stop him. Well, don't worry about that. He ended up winning in the U.S. He's not trying to relitigate, is he? I mean, which party is? Which party indeed? And I love this stuff, too, because when you go through, they say, well, looking at this, looking at those cases there, nobody argues that case, there was any fraud in it. Everyone said that the merits of it, they stood on its own. There's no problem with that at all. In fact, when JD is quoting cases, when he's talking about, why this should go forward, that's inapplicable to this case. We should shoot that stuff down. And that wasn't shot down either. Like I said, this is not a winning argument. They wanted to say there was no party claiming fraud in the UK, therefore he should have never been able to face his accuser. He had a full and fair opportunity to go in and to litigate her claims. The judge actually shut that argument down too, and shut it down big time. Why? Because again, the judge in the UK would not let JD take AH to task. That was such an issue for the judge in the U.S. case. That's Judge Penny, by the way, that she said that he did not get justice. I mean, think about that statement. He did not get justice in the UK courtroom. I think that is a strong statement. That statement, it's going to be on record in their appeal too. JD's team is going to put it there. Yeah, like I said, when you start arguing the merits of another case, when you're not arguing what happened in this case, saying it went bad, you're basically saying it should have never happened at all. That doesn't help you out very much. Like I said, that's what they're going with. You can see it. This is every single thing that they argued in this slideshow. That, again, that is their opening salvo. They wanted to hide all of this behind closed doors. They didn't want you to see their argument because when they made this argument, they wanted you to guess at what was there. They wanted you to figure, there had to be something, right? There had to be, because they claimed it. No, justice was served in the U.S. Justice was indeed served. They can't stand that idea because they expected to win. So it's going to cost them $500,000 a year to try to put on this, which is, again, a losing argument right from go. Yeah, good luck wrecking your own case. Man, this stuff, it is golden. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. We can go over every single slide in a live stream if you want. Let me know about that. But if you like the channel too, check out the links in the description. They definitely help the channel. You being here though, that helps out most of all. So thank you. Appreciate you. I'm going to end here. Thank you again. And next time we will see you soon.